Thanks for watching CBS 8 Plus and welcome to our Throwback special. I'm Jeff Zevely. You know, you never know what you're going to find when you dig into our video archives, like the time we found Marilyn Monroe. It was in September of 1958 when these red-top towers were upstaged by the beauty of Marilyn Monroe. San Diegans were mesmerized by a star who stood right here. We've rediscovered several minutes of never-before-seen silent outtakes of Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn was really at the height of her fame.
This footage was shot at Hotel del Coronado, where Gina Patron is the heritage manager. Can you believe we've never aired this?
This is incredible. Incredible footage.
Have you seen any of this before?
No. No, absolutely no.
If there's one thing I admire, it's a girl with a shapely ankle. Me too. Bye-bye.
The outtakes were shot on the set of Some Like It Hot, which starred Marilyn, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon.
I have never read a comedy script. Not only better, maybe not its equal.
The outtakes of Marilyn were first discovered decades ago.
1958.
By News 8 photographer Ben Cutchell, hidden away in an archive canister, simply labeled Outs.
There's maybe 2.5 minutes of Marilyn, Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis on the beach at the Hotel Del, and I thought, wow.
About 30 seconds of that footage aired in a Larry Himmel story.
There she is. Looks like in between takes.
But these images have never been seen before. We spotted another star in those outtakes. Jamie Lee Curtis was also on the beach that day. Sort of. Tony Curtis was married to Janet Leigh, who you may remember from the movie Psycho.
Janet Leigh was pregnant. She was pregnant with Jamie Lee Curtis at the time of filming.
And she wasn't alone. Marilyn was also pregnant during the shooting of Some Like It Hot.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. You're not hurt, are you?
Which could have contributed to her showing up on set 3 and 4 hours late, according to the director, Billy Wilder.
So you just say, my God, this was a question as to who is going to have a nervous breakdown, me, the two guys who were suffering, or the money man.
But Wilder had to admit, Marilyn was worth the wait.
I want to be kissed by you.
In 2009, while celebrating the film's 50th anniversary, I interviewed Tony Curtis.
It was fun, you know? It was fun.
We could have had 3 weeks in Florida, all expenses paid.
He laughed about the movie's plot after he and Lemmon witnessed a mob shooting and dressed up as women to escape.
What's the matter now?
How do they walk in these things?
Walking in high heels was a first for Curtis.
Let's do another log on the fire.
But kissing Marilyn Monroe is what he remembered most. Curtis told me Marilyn devoured him.
She was a very beautiful woman. Very beautiful.
The lost footage also shows Marilyn with her husband at the time, playwright Arthur Miller. Both unaware Marilyn would suffer a miscarriage 2 months later.
And just when you think you've seen it all and you've learned everything there is, it's wonderful to discover something like this that really brings it to life.
What a chapter in San Diego history.
Absolutely.
11 presidents have stayed at the Del, but no one made San Diego's crown jewel shine like the magic of Marilyn.
That's fantastic. Absolutely wonderful footage.
In the Zevely Zone,
It's priceless.
Jeff Zevely, News 8. Time now to head back to 1966, the day the Beach Boys visited the San Diego Zoo. What happened that day is still being discussed all these years later. But we discovered lost footage and found out if the band really was banned for life from the zoo.
Wouldn't it be nice if we...
In 1966, Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys committed himself to creating the greatest rock album ever made. Songs like Wouldn't It Be Nice, Sloop John B, and God Only Knows were just some of the biggest hits on the album titled Pet Sounds. Do you remember when the Beach Boys were here?
Yes, I do remember. That was a very special day.
In order to shoot the cover for Pet Sounds, the Beach Boys visited the San Diego Zoo, where Ron Garrison was a photographer for 38 years.
Would you like to see a picture that I have that was actually used on the album cover?
Yes.
Okay, so here was the album cover, and this is what their photographer was setting up, and then I could do my picture.
Wow.
So that was the picture that I took.
Are you proud of that?
Yes.
News 8 was also at the zoo that day and shot this lost footage, recently discovered in our film archives, which we showed to Mike Love from the Beach Boys. How much do you love San Diego?
So much.
We found some footage that has not been seen for more than 50 years at the San Diego Zoo when the Beach Boys were shooting the Pet Sounds album cover.
I remember it well. We went to the petting zoo.
Tell me about what you remember from that day.
Just it was really strange because the animals, we were feeding them, and it was just bizarre. It was a bizarre situation.
In the paper archives, it states that the Beach Boys would never be welcome back at the zoo again. Do you remember any sort of mayhem?
Hey, now, wait a minute. Let's be bygones be bygones. I have no idea why they said that. Maybe something rude was said or done, but I don't remember anything. I comported myself as a perfect gentleman.
Newspaper reports alleged band members got rowdy and were banned for life. It said somebody from the band bounced a carrot off of a tiger's nose.
Now that I don't know because they were in the children's zoo and there's no tigers.
Ron doesn't remember any mischief.
You got to remember, they were kids, right? They were in their early 20s.
And about to make rock history, according to Dan Del Fiorentino, a music historian with NAMM. What is it about Pet Sounds that changed music?
Well, that's a great question. Pet Sounds, what an amazing album. It came out at the right time for the Beach Boys in their career, but also for Americans. You know, it took them 9 months to record that album in 27 different sessions and in 4 different studios.
God only knows what I'd be without you.
Paul McCartney once said that God Only Knows was one of his favorite songs.
Yeah, the influence of this album is really extraordinary. What's really cool is one of the guys I interviewed was one of the Beach Boys, Bruce Johnson, who was the guy who actually took 2 copies and played them for Paul and John. And so they were extremely influenced by that album. And of course, their Sgt. Pepper's album came out about a year later.
When I feel so broken, I want to go home.
I remember maybe 10 years ago, Rolling Stone magazine did the 500 top albums, and they had Sgt. Pepper at #1 and Pet Sounds at #2. So that's pretty good company. Of course, I demanded a recount, never mind.
As for just how wild the Beach Boys got at the zoo?
Yeah, I think there were some people that thought that they might have been a little bit rude. I just, like I said, they were kids.
We interviewed Mike Love from the Beach Boys,
okay,
and he said that they were perfect gentlemen.
I would say they didn't do anything obnoxious.
Good.
They may have been showing off.
Would you invite him back?
Sure. I would agree that bygones should be bygones, for whatever they may have been doing at that point in their life.
In the Zevely Zone, I see Mike Love.
Okay.
And he's not causing any trouble.
No.
Jeff Zevely, News 8. For the record, the San Diego Zoo says the Beach Boys are welcome anytime. But from the Beach Boys to the Beatles, these Hall of Fame bands have made a huge impact on San Diego. As we dig back into our video vault, we revisit the haircut crisis from 1965. The CBS 8 Video Vault has produced another gem, and this time we're going back to 1965 when the San Diego Unified School Board was quite literally splitting hairs. In the mid-60s, when the Beatles were taking America by storm, a cloud of controversy rolled into San Diego. How short was your hair supposed to be?
Who knows?
When Ken Pernicano was 14 years old, he was in a band called The Other Four and got hauled in front of the San Diego Unified School Board.
This is me.
Okay, well, your hair's not even long in that picture.
No. That's how long it was when I was kicked out of school.
You heard that right. It was 1965 when Ken was expelled from Crawford High for hair that looked like this.
Mr. Perry, who's in this video, was the principal at the time. And yes, he said, your hair's too long.
Ken was never told how short they wanted his hair.
I guess probably shaved like his.
These are newspaper articles about the controversy.
Correct.
But as his hair continued to grow, so did the story that made the cover of the national magazine called Teen Screen.
The national haircut crisis. They say cut it off, we say cut it out.
You're sharing the cover of a magazine with the Beatles.
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
14 years old.
And the subject of an article that read,
while war rages on in Vietnam and astronauts walk in space, some Americans prefer to concern themselves with more important things, haircuts, for instance.
The other four had a hit song called Why, and recorded in the same studio as the Beach Boys.
The Beach Boys, 1966, that was when we did Why.
And how long was Brian Wilson's hair?
He had long sideburns from what I remember.
Their song Why was listed as one of KDEO's top picks. Number one on this list is My Generation by The Who, and number two is Why by the other four.
Yes, Radio 91. It brings back memories how it was so cool.
But you know what wasn't cool? Getting sent to continuation school until the controversy died down.
Yes, I finally was able to return in my junior year.
Did you cut your hair?
Yes.
They might not have been as popular as the Beatles, but the other four did stand up for what they believed and got rewarded with fan mail.
Girls would send me locks of their hair.
In the Zevely Zone. That was awesome, except you need a haircut. Jeff Zevely, CBS 8. So how do we do it? How do we bring this lost footage back to life? Turns out CBS 8 has a secret weapon by the name of Pea Hicks, and we needed his superpowers to rescue Gregory Peck. When you work for San Diego's oldest television station, sometimes you get yourself a mystery canister and need a miracle man. For more than 20 years, he scoured the county.
It's a form of time travel.
Searching for memories that would have been lost forever.
I'm always out at garage sales and estate sales and swap meets looking for stuff, but anytime you spool up an old piece of film, it's really exciting to me.
I think we need to start with your name.
Pea Hicks. P is short for peanut, which is my nickname since birth.
Pea Hicks. The name alone creates a shroud of mystery.
Mystery is what makes life interesting for me.
He calls himself a suburban archaeologist.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be Indiana Jones, so it gives me that Indiana Jones thrill of discovery. I'm always looking for that thing that is obscure that never got properly documented.
We may have something for you.
Okay.
We've heard that Gregory Peck may be buried somewhere in there.
Oh, somewhere in here, okay.
Boy. The old footage hasn't been played since 1963.
We got to this one just in time.
But leave it to P to finesse the film.
I will do my best with it. This one's going to be a challenge.
And bring another piece of San Diego history.
Is this the moment?
Back to life.
Is this happening? Oh! Gregory Peck!
Is this the greatest discovery you've ever made?
Almost.
2 years ago, P revived this lost footage of the Beach Boys shooting their Pet Sounds album cover at the San Diego Zoo. And now in an instant, P takes us back to the Spreckles Theater for the premiere of To Kill a Mockingbird.
Mr. Peck, is Hollywood just about dead as the motion picture capital of the world, or is it beginning to make a comeback?
Well, I hope it's not quite dead.
CBS 8's Harold Keene asked Peck if he thought a white lawyer representing a black client would create racial tension for moviegoers.
Yeah, that sounds rather foolish to me. I doubt that they've read the book or seen the picture. Let them see it, or read it, and say that afterwards.
Gregory Peck won the Academy Award for his role. Now we can treasure the memory forever. Bum, ba, bum, bum.
Yes.
Thanks to San Diego's own Indiana Jones.
And now we got to pay licensing fees to John Williams.
In the Zevely Zone.
That's why I tried to hit wrong notes.
Jeff Zevely, CBS 8. Gregory Peck graduated from San Diego High in 1933. His role as Atticus Finch earned him his only Academy Award. I never met Gregory Peck, but you know who did? KFMB's Bob Mills. If you put together a Mount Rushmore of San Diego's top television personalities, Bob Mills could be at the top of the mountain.
He was a great guy. They called him Mr. San Diego.
When we told Paula Richards we discovered forgotten footage of Bob Mills, just like her famous father, she was all smiles. In the 1960s,
and a happy good morning to you. How are things?
San Diego woke up with Bob Mills.
Join us each weekday morning at 8.
On sunup.
Well, I hope
he scored big interviews with the likes of Bob Hope and...
Well, there he is with Jimmy Durante, Jack Benny, Gregory Peck, Regis Philbin, Liberace, yeah, President Kennedy.
Celebrities and viewers trusted Bob Mills.
He was very real. What you saw on the air was what you saw at my house.
And Bob opened up his house often to show his family life with his wife and 2 daughters.
Oh my gosh, that is me.
That's Paula, pretending to study.
Fake.
Paula will cherish these memories. Her father died at age 69.
Heart attack.
Decades later, Paula still gets asked about her dad.
It's always about sunup. You know, he did other things, but he started the sunup show, and Raquel Welch was his weather girl.
Showbiz.
When Welch went on to become a movie star, it was Bob who got the exclusive. All of the tabloids are reporting that Raquel Welch is pregnant. And your dad has the guts to ask the burning question.
Somebody said that you're going to have another, are you?
No. Who, me?
Well, I think they said you.
Oh, well. What can I say? It's not true, but I know you won't believe it.
We found another interview with a folk music legend.
Well, you're the top gal today, I would judge.
He's interviewing Joan Baez at San Diego State. And what strikes me about this interview is they talk for probably 6 minutes and wait until you see who was waiting for this interview to end.
I think they're hollering for me.
As a matter of fact, I believe they are. They're just about to introduce Joan Baez.
This just shows you what a big timer your dad was. Watch this. There's like 10,000 people waiting.
Oh my gosh! And he was out there chit-chatting.
Yeah. Bob Mills and sunup.
He had a great big personality.
Willing to do just about anything to start San Diego off with a smile.
I hadn't seen that.
Did he have a toupee?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I almost put it out there for you.
In the Zevely Zone.
See you on sunup tomorrow.
Jeff Zevely, CBS 8. Paula says her father was a wonderful dad and husband who loved his job. KFMB has been blessed to bring you some talented broadcasters throughout the years, such as Regis Philbin, Larry Himmel, and who could forget Bob Dale.
I just don't know how in the world you came up with the artistry to do this.
Newsaid discovered this Bob Dale interview in a lost archive box from 1976.
Normally, I wouldn't lie down on a job like this, but I want to get as close to this beautiful carpeting and, of course, the lovely lady here who made it possible for her family, Alita Warren. I can't believe it.
We tracked down Alita Warren's family, living in Utah. So let me get this straight. Bob Dale comes in your house and he just lays down on your carpet and interviews you like this?
Yeah, that's what he did.
You tell the folks how you got these beautiful pieces of carpeting and wait till you see the other rooms.
Well, I went around to about 6 or 8 different carpet stores that sell carpet in town and asked if I could have their remnants, what they threw away. And they said, okay, so I climbed in the dumpster after they threw it out and
She
picked up
climbed
the pieces.
in these great big steel dump things and pulled out bits and pieces just like this and show the folks how you, before you even made the designs, you know, how you sew them together. Oh, I'm sorry, Jared. Jared loves the carpeting too.
That baby Bob bonked on the head is all grown up now.
That's okay. I forgave him. It was a long time ago.
What is your daughter's name?
Andrea.
Andrea. When you were a little girl, wouldn't you have loved to have Bambi on a carpet?
Yes, Bambi was my favorite character.
Andrea is all grown up too.
I do. I remember the Bambi carpet. And I also remember helping, in air quotes, my mom sew some of those carpets together.
Alita used small clips to connect the carpet bits with thread and needle. Alita completed the project during her husband Dan's 2-year Navy deployment.
I thought it was fantastic. I couldn't believe she had such a wonderful talent that I didn't know about.
Stitched into the carpet, home, our heaven on earth.
It was a wonderful place to grow up.
For sure, of course it was.
The perfect place.
Isn't this something?
To roll out the Bambi carpet for Bob Dale.
He was very nice and friendly.
In the Zevely Zone,
just beautiful.
Jeff Zevely, News 8. The legendary Bob Dale passed away in 2008 at the age of 83. Hey, thanks for watching our Throwback special on CBS 8 Plus. I'm Jeff Zevely.